Charlie Kirk, probably one of the top 10 most important conservatives in America. Of course, he is the founder and president of Turning Point USA, which has done so much to help this country. I wonder if Charlie is shocked by some of what we have seen recently. That University of Pennsylvania president being so overtly anti-Semitic. At least she was fired, right? She was totally fired. Meanwhile, the president of Harvard said equally disturbing things, yet Harvard has full confidence in her leadership. Anti-Semitism, I knew, was kind of rampant on campus with idiot college kids running around, waving flags they don't really understand, slogans they don't realize the full impact of, but that it went so far in the administration. Charlie Kirk, welcome back, and you got to check out the Charlie Kirk Show. Wow, I am shocked about everything that has happened since October 6th. You know college campuses better than most college kids. Were you shocked?
To the extent somewhat, but not necessarily. You know, I wrote the book, The College Scam. I enjoyed coming on your great show, Greg, when it was published. I have been warning about the radicalism that we've seen on these university campuses for quite some time. What I have been shocked and not shocked, I have been really surprised and excited to see is how donors are starting to pull their money. Finally, we're starting to see a revolt of the donors, Mark Rowan, Bill Ackman, that are standing up to the Leviathan of higher education. And the question now is, well, what next beyond resignations from the college presidents? So we must applaud anytime a Jew hater loses their job, anytime Jew haters are called out. They have no place in leadership of our institutions in this country. I'm afraid, though, Greg, people that have been trying to restrict speech on campus for quite some time are going to use this as an opportunity to assail our ability as conservatives to speak on college campuses. Conduct against any sort of group shall not be tolerated. However, for example, when I go to a college campus and I say that there are only two sexes and there are zero genders and infinite personalities, that is considered to be hate speech. In fact, they say that I'm participating in the genocide of trans people. It would be a tragedy, Greg, that if we allow these terrible events to result in further restriction of free speech on campuses.
Two genders is hate speech, but calling for the genocide of Jewish people is depends on the context.
That's right.
That's something. Hey, in a weird way, could this be a victory for intersectionality, which a lot of people use that word. I don't know if they fully mean, but if you look at the president of Penn, a white woman, you know, she loses her job, and I think appropriately so. We don't care about gender. We don't care about skin color, but a lot of people on the left do. And the Harvard president keeps her job because behind closed doors or whatever, they say, well, it's a black woman and it's harder to fire a black woman. So somehow her intersectionality, which I think means being, you know, two things. And in this case, a black woman. Again, this is liberal speak, but in a weird way, is this going to kind of encourage those kinds of hires where there's a real emphasis on intersectionality?
Yeah, I mean, I sure hope that we can get back to meritocracy. These institutions used to be something to be proud of. Something that's also developing throughout this, Greg, is that people no longer look at Harvard as an elite school. It's actually becoming a laughingstock. The Wall Street Journal did a very powerful piece yesterday where they said internal Penn documents say that we have become a national laughingstock, and they are right. And, you know, that of all the things, the donations, the thing that they are most upset about is that they're not able to kind of have their nose up and brag that they went to an Ivy League school, that they might actually have to tilt their head downward in shame. Honestly, that's a good thing. That is how you're going to start to see these universities change. More so than special invites to country clubs or insider access to the Harvard Club in New York. No. The thing that really drives the Ivy League culture is the pretension, is the elitism. And if Harvard, Princeton, Penn, Dartmouth, Columbia graduates now have to kind of whisper, yeah, I went to Penn, I went to Harvard, because they're afraid that somebody might say, oh, you mean the place that hates Jews? That is a terrific development, and that is actually what will drive change at these universities.
All right, but we got to give a shout out to our conservative clubs on those campuses. Some of the brightest conservatives historically have come from some of those schools. They're often, persecuted themselves. Charlie, I want to show everybody a picture of Mitch McConnell. I don't think you're a fan. I'm not a fan. You know, nobody tweets like you. And you put this out today. Republicans did nothing about Bill Clinton flying to islands with minors. Republicans did nothing about Hillary Clinton smashing devices. You go on like this. Republicans did nothing about Andy McCabe plotting a silent coup against a sitting president. Why would Democrats be afraid of us? They run the country while Republican AGs and DAs quiver in fear and run for the hills. That is something. It is all true. Are they going to step up? I would love to see some aggressiveness and creativity.
Yeah, I mean, we are in a crisis right now, and this is what is fueling the grassroots push behind Donald Trump dominating the Republican primary, is that anyone that remembers a free country knows that it's completely and totally politically unacceptable to have the former president and leading candidate facing 700 years in federal prison. Hard stop. And what we want, what we yearn for, is to have a opposition party in D.C. The RNC run by Ronna McRomney is an absolute failure. It is a joke. It is controlled opposition. Mitch McConnell does a terrible job in the Senate of actually restricting funding. In fact, it seems as if he wants the uniparty aims and ambitions of the regime to continue. What the conservative grassroots of America are begging for is, can somebody be as conservative as we are in Washington, D.C.? Can we cut maybe like $10 off the FBI funding? Like, can we just like cut a cappuccino machine? You know, can we have like something that we can go back and say that we did? Instead, it seems as if we get appeasement, doublespeak. A major fight right now, Greg, is FISA 702. They used it to spy on Trump. They used it to spy on Tucker Carlson. The abuses are widespread. They're probably using it right now to spy on me and spy on the Trump campaign. I sure hope that House Republicans can draw a line in the sand and not renew 702, and let alone for another 12 years. But Greg, it goes back to this, is can we have a Republican Party that reflects the voters? The voters are there. The grassroots are on fire. They're passionate. They're dedicated. Why are our leaders stuck in 1986, acting as if everything's fine, stock market's going up, and it's morning in America? It's not morning in America. It's almost midnight, and we need action.
Damn, Charlie. You talk even better than you tweet. That was really, you're powerful. You're good. Hey, very quickly, what can people do? Regular people, what should we do? What is there for them to do? You know, a lot of folks are just watching this on TV, you know, watching Trump. What's he going to say next? What do you recommend, practically speaking, what folks can do who are otherwise, you know, employed and got other things going on?
Yeah, well, first thing is, if you live in the southwest of this country, consider coming to our big event this weekend. It's called America Fest. It's 4 days, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday in Phoenix, Arizona. amfest.com, amfest.com. We got some big speakers. We're super excited about that. But honestly, sign up for your local Republican Party and do not despair. To despair is a sin. Dedicate to the long-term fight and hold your elected leaders accountable. My short-term mission is to get a Republican Party, leaders that care about the country as much as the grassroots do. I would really be pessimistic, Greg, if the grassroots were all about sending money to Ukraine and insider deals and all that nonsense. The grassroots are more on fire than I've ever seen them. It's time to get Washington, D.C. Republicans to remotely mirror that.
Awesome. Charlie Kirk, keep it up. Thank you. Thank you for everything you're doing. Turning Point USA, tpusa.com. Check it out.